Carl, you're in quarantine right now still in the state of Nebraska?
Yeah, I'm here quarantined in Omaha, Nebraska. I've been here since February 17th, spent 10 days in the biocontainment unit, and now I'm in a lower level of care, but still testing positive. My body just doesn't want to get rid of the coronavirus.
Still testing positive, February 17th. All right, so let's back up here and tell our viewers the story about the cruise you were on, where you were going.
Sure, I bought a cruise for my wife for her birthday and for Christmas. We boarded the Diamond Princess on we headed for Japan January 17th, boarded the Diamond Princess, had a 15-day wonderful cruise of our 16 days. On the last day, a passenger had gotten off at Hong Kong and had come down with the coronavirus 4 days later. So we were put in quarantine for 1 day on the ship as Japanese health officials came on board to check everyone out. And then we were quarantined after they found out 10 others had the virus. We were quarantined in our cabins for 14 days. So I got to spend Valentine's Day in our cabin with my wife, and it was quite an ordeal as we're watching more and more people on the Diamond Princess come down with the virus. That number is now north of 700 people. By the time we left and flew back to the States, there was well over 300 who had the virus.
So when you're on the ship, I mean, were you in one of those rooms where you were confined, no window, no balcony?
Yeah, I got on the plane, picked up the virus 2 hours later. I obviously had the virus before, but no symptoms. Then when I got on the plane, I fell asleep. 2 hours later, woke up, had a fever of over 103.
Wow.
They put me in a quarantine area on the plane and was flown back to the States. We landed in California and then headed to Omaha. What's unusual is I had no other symptoms other than a high fever and a dry cough that lasted for about 2 weeks.
That's it.
I ended up, yeah, it's weird. I had no headache, no sore throat, no runny nose, no chills that you normally get with a high fever. None of that existed other than the cough, the dry cough that remained.
So you said how long? This goes back to February 17th?
Yeah, so I've been here since February 17th.
Okay, so what are they doing?
Been quarantined on the ship since February 4th.
What are they doing to treat you right now? Are you being given anything?
Right now, I'm just taking 1 day at a time. I get tested every 2 days. They stick a big swab up my nose, deep down my throat for about 5 seconds each. That's lots of fun. I also signed up for a voluntary clinical study that they're doing on me. So as a bonus, I get a test with a swab under both eyelids and one up my rear end. So I'm taking one for the team here.
Well, I'm sorry you're going through all this,
but I'm doing it so I hope that others can learn from this and the scientists can learn from this and maybe speed up a cure for it or whatever. But I'm in good hands here in Omaha. I'm just spending my time doing work. We own the local radio station in Santa Clarita, California. I've been writing a daily blog, sharing my experiences, showing the humorous side of it, making lemonade out of lemons so that people don't freak out as much as they are at the moment, and just sharing as much as I can about the virus.
I understand.
It's funny because I'm in the most high-tech area in the country. Here they set up the biocontainment center after 9/11 when the anthrax scare hit. Never used it for anthrax, used it for the Ebola crisis about 5 years ago, and then I'm patient number 2. But as high-tech as they are, every 2 days I get tested again. I have to come out with 3 negative tests in a row over a 24-hour period.
Well, Carl, let me ask you something. Let me just chime in real quick. I mean, you talk about the 103 fever. I mean, has that existed the entire time, or how do you feel now? Are you surprised, basically, you're getting these negative or these positive tests back?
Yeah, what's so weird about it is the fever lasted about 8 hours. It was gone by the time I got to Omaha. So all they could do is, when I got into biocontainment, this high tech, is they gave me ibuprofen and gallons of Gatorade. In fact, here we go. I've got my Gatorade right here, and the blue is the bomb.
There you
Blue
go.
is the bomb. Stay away from the grape. The other thing is they bring back my results. The doctor comes in wearing a gown. He brings me the results on a, believe it or not, on a Post-it. Don't know if you can see that.
We can see
But that's
it.
at
this
the
is
high tech.
very play-by-play. Hey, is there any? You seem like a great man. You're helping out with trying to being tested and being part of that study. But is there any frustration? I mean, because you've been there so long.
Well, of course, there's some frustration because
Sure.
I'd love to be home with my wife. She never got the virus, tested negative. She's back home working. We're trying to run a radio station, the last of the mom and pops out there, I think. And that's hard because I'm hands-on and everything I have to do now is virtually. So my relationship with friends, family, and everything have been virtual. I'm not allowed to leave this room. And I'm just stuck here alone, making the best that I can. It's out of my control, so I'm just taking it one day at a time.
Carl Goldman, name I'm not going to forget. I am sorry you are going through this. I appreciate the time. You're really giving us an in-depth look at what a patient is going through. And I hope you get out of there soon and back to your wife and back to your business and radio station. Carl, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Hopefully I'll get home before the final results of the Iowa caucus.
Good line. Yeah, in 4 more years. Okay.